video games? A benign pastime or the entrance to Satan's domain? Well, if you ask the parents of TikTok, you'll find that the answer is rather devious.
Your kids are under spiritual attack. So they just released this game called The Cult of the Lamb. Destroy the non-believers. Explore a sprawling, randomly generated world. Fight off hordes of enemies.
No, Billy, get off the game! They're turning you evil! Look, all I want to do with my life is play Helldivers 2 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But unfortunately, as a father, I have some responsibilities. While I love hanging out with my daughter, I have to go to a lot of birthday parties and other events for other children that I don't know. And at these events, I have to talk to parents I don't know. And sometimes that's not the most fun thing in the world. When I'm talking with other parents and I tell them that my daughter really enjoys video games, I usually get this look. Which is really weird considering this is the year of our Lord 2025 and most of the stigma around gaming has been debunked. But for some reason, so many parents still have this weird, abnormal view of the medium. The only reason I'm thinking about this is because another parent that I know posted this video to their Instagram.
The boys just roll over in bed and click a few buttons and they're getting that DNA based down deep in their soul stimulus. So why in God's name would you ever get up to go throw a ball?
Yeah, you stupid kids. Why are you immersing yourself in these beautiful and interactive worlds when you could throw a ball around? Here, look at these two pictures side by side. Tell me which looks more fun. Obviously, the ball is where the fun's at. Okay, first of all, this video illustrates one of the biggest issues I have with non-gamers talking about video games. I hear this all the time, where I talk to someone who maybe played Mario Kart once, like 25 years ago, and that's all they think video games are. They'll say something like, well, video games are just for kids, so I'm hoping my child will outgrow it someday. Or they say, oh, I don't let my child play video games. It's just a waste of time. LOL heart smiley emoji. The reason this is stupid is that quote unquote video games covers a wide spectrum of entertainment. There are some games that are absolute slop, but then there are games that can fundamentally alter a person for the better and actually help them with their development as they grow. Saying video games are bad for kids is like saying books are good for kids. Sure, there's a lot of great books that are really good for kids, but there are also books that you would never want a child to read. You don't give a 7-year-old Lolita or Tropic of Cancer. That would absolutely rock their world and ruin their development. You want to keep them reading things like The Very Hungry Caterpillar. These f***ing ignoramuses, or is it ignoramusi? Like octopi is a plural of octopus. I don't know. These fucking morons don't seem to understand that video games have evolved and they can tell some of the most beautiful and intricate stories out there. Furthermore, they tell them in an interactive way, and there's plenty of research to show that this unique element to the medium is highly beneficial to both kids and teens. Don't take my word for it. Just look at this, or this. What do you have to say to that, parents of gamers?
As a mother of a video game player, I am worried.
A video game player. You know, like most of the population. These days, most people in the world play video games, and if you don't play video games, you're the abnormal one. Get out of here with your faux cheetah coat, you poor bitch. I know real fur when I see it.
Video game addiction has become a growing concern in recent years, following the growth of sophisticated online gaming.
Sophisticated online gaming. It's growing. It's coming to take your children. What the f*** is sophisticated online gaming? Does she think people like wear petticoats and drink tea as they talk about how to maximize DPS in the raid? Gentlemen, the raid shall begin at dusk, and God willing, we shall finally smash Nefarian into pieces. I don't think this lady's played World of Warcraft, because it's a bunch of sweaty men yelling at each other not to wipe the raid for like the 7th time that night. There's nothing sophisticated about that.
This is serious.
This is serious!
Our kids are in danger.
Our kids are in danger! Quick, somebody go to a local news station that has nothing to report on, and let's see what they say.
How much is too much? Well, Pew Research tells us 91% of kids play some sort of video game. Could be on a phone, tablet, console, or computer. Point is, it's everywhere.
Oh my God. Video games are everywhere. What do these devilish machines want with our children? What evil machinations are unleashed amidst their ones and zeros?
Tyler Kerwicki is 13 years old. Like many kids around the world, Tyler loves playing video games.
The creative mode, you can build whatever you would like.
Did you hear that? You can build whatever you like!
But thanks to his mom, video games are just a hobby, not an addiction.
I usually top him out at an hour a day, but I don't let him play video games every day.
Ew, what a bitch. That kid is never gonna catch all the Pokemon on an hour-a-day schedule. Okay, this is something I hear a lot as well. A lot of parents think that video games are this, like, drug they have to drip feed their child. I've heard so many parents say things like, oh, I only limit my child to 1 hour of gaming a day. You know what I have to say to that? Your child will never be a gaming legend on 1 hour a day. I will always kick their ass in Mario Kart. They don't even know how to f***ing drift. Now, look, I know it's highly important to diversify the activities your children are involved in, and having them sitting in front of a screen all day, every day is not good. But imposing arbitrary limits on their gaming is just ridiculous. Sometimes it's appropriate to have limits on gaming time. We don't let my daughter play her Switch at the dinner table, or when we go out somewhere, we don't bring the Switch or an iPad or anything. We're not like iPad parents. But at other times, it's appropriate to let your children play games, such as when they buy a new game, they might want to invest more time in it. When I bought Pokemon Red, I didn't stop playing that game for 3 months straight, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, the only bad thing was that back then Game Boys weren't rechargeable, so they took batteries, and I went through like one of those mega packs of AA's every single week. And if you didn't have any batteries, you would go to the TV remote and take those batteries out and put the dead batteries in the remote. So my dad would come home and be like, why the f can't I watch Law and Order? When I was playing Pokemon Red, I was exploring a vast world, learning about all these Pokemon, and by doing so, I was expanding my reading comprehension, vocabulary, and basic strategic thinking. I don't see what's so bad about that, especially if a kid is excited to play a new game all their friends are playing. This really isn't a big deal. Let's check back in with Tyler and see how this evil Minecraft game is corrupting his soul.
Tiffany Kerwicki says her son has some development disabilities. He's still high functioning, but that's what led her down this path of restricting his game time.
I'm building a giant love sign.
Okay. This is like the 50th time that I've seen this clip, but it always makes me laugh. This child is being corrupted by this evil game, Minecraft. Tyler, show us what you do in this game. I'm making a giant sign that says love. Real talk though, his Minecraft skills suck. Look at this awesome castle village I built in survival mode. Compare that to Tyler's love sign. Tyler, you're not getting the skills to build this masterpiece on an hour a day. Just stop, Tyler.
Tiffany still believes that some video games are detrimental to a child's development.
I think his counselor said that it was like cocaine for the brain.
Oh my God. Okay, listen. There are certainly games that are built on a gameplay loop that attempt to take advantage of those prone to addiction, and we've seen a massive rise of these games in mobile gaming. But if you don't differentiate between those games and like actual good games that can enhance a person's life, you're just going to deny your kid the ability to have a lot of fun and develop significant skills. Luckily, this news program doesn't end on a bad note.
So it looks like not all video games can have that negative impact.
You've got it, brother. That sounds great. You know, let's close out this news program on a positive and thoughtful.
That's right, and that's why her approach is kind of that way. She lets him play educational, kind of creative video games, but those first-person shooter games, those can be detrimental to your brain.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Shooters rot your brain. That's bullshit. Shooters enhance your brain. Every kid who played the classic Call of Duty games had this experience. You go into history class and the teacher says it's time to learn about World War II, but you've been murdering more Nazis than Lieutenant Aldo Rain since the age of 9. Those were the best days too, when the teacher would like roll in that TV on the cart that's like buckled down, She's like, well, we're gonna watch a Ken Burns documentary on World War II. It's like, yes. Honestly, I thought a lot of this sort of thinking died in the 80s with the Satanic Panic. I guess it's not all bad, though. At least they're not insinuating that video games turn normal people into mass murderers. I mean, that would just be a ridiculous thing to say, and I think it would...
The CEO murderer has gotten a lot of press, and we found out that one of his issues was a gaming addiction. This guy loved video games.
You're saying that my boy Luigi was inspired by video games to cap that CEO? What, was he playing Mario Kart and he was in 12th place and got a bullet bill or something? Like, what are you talking about? Okay, let's be real here. As a lifelong gamer, do you know how many people I have ruthlessly slaughtered in video games? How many cities I've nuked in Civilization without a second thought? How many children I've assassinated in Crusader Kings to increase the size of my empire? How many men and women I have gunned down without remorse? I have broken every law of the Geneva Convention in video games, sometimes multiple times over the course of a week or even a day. But last week, there was a bee stuck in my house, and I spent 10 minutes getting it outside because I would feel bad if I killed it. They're pollinators. We need to protect them.
And recent studies have shown that if you're a gaming addict, you actually have less frontal lobe circulation. That means your morality goes down.
What is this liver-spotted bitch even talking about? He's declaring, despite a wealth of evidence to the contrary, that video games inherently lower your morality. If that was true, Japan would be a lawless wasteland instead of one of the most technologically brilliant and peaceful nations of the modern age. But what if I'm wrong? What if, despite the fact that I've played video games for 3 decades and become a non-violent pussy, I'm wrong? What if, despite the fact that video games have exploded as the most popular form of entertainment of all time, I'm wrong? What if despite the fact that there are dozens of studies showing it's benign to play video games, I'm wrong? TikTok, do you have some sort of test to show me that I'm addicted to video games?
This is how you know if you're addicted to video games. Even if you say you don't have a problem, you just play for fun, your life looks good on paper, this test will tell you whether or not that's true. The test is, imagine that a film crew captured an average day gaming in your life. They filmed all of the things about the way that you game, how long, how often, things that you do while gaming that no one knows about but you. And then imagine that they showed that recording to all of your loved ones, your girlfriend, your wife, or your future girlfriend and wife, like a girl that you were interested in that you wanted to date. Imagine that they showed it to the whole world. How would you feel?
Okay, for real, if there was like a montage of my Helldivers gameplay, people would say, wow, that guy's really good at video games, and that's awesome. You know what? Let's make a montage. Johnny, show him the montage. Wow, that wasn't cool at all. What a terrible gaming addict.
Would you feel embarrassed? Would you feel ashamed? Would you feel squirmy? Like there's something uncomfortable about the world seeing the way that you actually live? If the answer is yes, then you are addicted to video games.
Okay, here's something else I see a lot of. People say that those who hide their gaming habits must be addicted, and that's not necessarily true. Yeah, sure, if someone is gaming 16 hours a day every single day and they're emptying their bank account into a game and they feel shame for those actions and they're hiding it, that's certainly a sign of addiction. But do you know another reason people hide things from their loved ones? Because they're mocked and made to feel shame for just enjoying it. If someone enjoys gaming, but they're surrounded by those who stigmatize the medium, of course they're going to hide their gaming habits. That doesn't mean they're necessarily addicted. It just means that they don't want to be made fun of for enjoying something that is mocked by those around them. And this is even stupider considering we're not talking about some niche weird hobby like building a ham radio. We're talking about video games, the largest entertainment medium in the history of our species. No hate to those who build ham radios though, that is actually pretty cool. But some of these fucking morons just don't get it. They just go back to video games equal bad, and that's it. Some kid plays video games for 8 hours a day. They must be addicted. An adult plays video games. They're obviously sick in the head. This epidemic is happening where all these people who don't play video games are making sweeping generalizations about the entire medium, which is enjoyed by billions of people.
You even see this with video games. People will play a video game, they love it, it's super exciting to them, and then they'll keep playing and playing and playing. So oftentimes what will happen is the person only has excitement and can achieve dopamine release to the same extent doing that behavior and not other behaviors.
Wait, is that Tom Segura? Segura? I don't know his name. Didn't he like make fun of poor people and get canceled?
Correct!
This dipshit is literally just describing what happens when you're invested in a hobby. Again, people can get addicted to video games, and they can get addicted to any hobby. But normally, when someone has a hobby they love, no matter what it is, that hobby brings them the most happiness, and they would rather spend time pursuing that hobby than doing other things. Naturally, they prioritize the hobby over other things. Sure, if you prioritize the hobby over the needs of your loved ones, like if I told my daughter, you can't go to a birthday party because I want to sit on my ass and play Helldivers, yeah, that would be a problem. But if you just want to enjoy a hobby in a healthy way on your downtime, that's totally fine. It doesn't matter if your hobby is gaming or running or carpentry or watching Pancake Sean videos. The only thing that matters is that Pancake Sean videos are objectively the best, and I need you to like and subscribe so I get money to fuel my gaming addiction.
You're not going to want to hear this, but video games are ruining your life. Video games are designed to give you a lot of reward for not a lot of effort.
Man Tits here has obviously never grinded for the Grand Marshal crossbow in classic World of Warcraft. I ran Alterac Valley every single day for 10 hours for like a month, and then I got that crossbow. But then Burning Crusade came out like 4 months later, and it was useless. You, World of Warcraft! This is something else that a lot of non-gamers seem to really zero in on. They seem to think that gaming is still just like Pong. You know, something that you pick up, get a little enjoyment out of, and that's it. Sure, there's plenty of mobile games like that, but the best games ever are huge time investments that reward the player with captivating stories, increased dexterity, more strategic thinking, and a myriad of other skills with practical applications. Now, I'm not saying that video game addiction isn't real, or that people can't be sucked into a game in a negative way. I mean, you know, enjoy all the video games that you want, but make time to go to the gym, spend time with friends, have new experiences. It's good to have a healthy, active lifestyle. But this notion that video games don't require effort and intelligence is asinine. And anyone who has ever completely filled out the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X knows otherwise. And I've seen so many people criticize video games while simultaneously having horrible habits of their own. If some stupid housewife who lives in the suburbs spends 8 hours a day scrolling through TikTok, she's melting her brain way more than any video game ever could. Let me ask you something. What do you think is more productive? Scrolling on TikTok for 5 hours or playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for 5 hours? A stupid person would probably say they're the same, but in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I'm using my mind to overcome obstacles while learning history. It's an interactive medium that forces me to think strategically. On TikTok, I'm just entering a scrolling cycle that inevitably ends in gooning. Oh my god. Look at that ass. I need to take a break. I'll be right back. My point in all of this is that I'm sick of people who don't know anything about video games or don't play them making declarations about them that are completely wrong. Here, check this out.
One of the biggest parenting mistakes I feel that parents are making of this generation is allowing their kids to play video games. These Minecrafts and Fortnites, if we want our children to be happy, they need to use their imagination, their creativity, they need to be in play.
In the span of 20 seconds, this tangerine-looking says that kids shouldn't play Minecraft, but then she says that kids need an outlet for their creativity. That's literally the whole game. Listen, let me tell you something about parenting. I have a 6-year-old daughter. I'm far from an expert. I'm still learning a lot. But I think I've stumbled upon something that a lot of these parents haven't. When you have a kid, that kid is going to have hobbies. Some of those hobbies are going to be things you enjoy. Some of those hobbies are going to be strange and weird to you, but your child will inevitably enjoy things that you don't like. So long as those hobbies aren't blatantly horrible, I'm looking at you, mobile game garbage, you need to encourage your kids. You need to learn about these hobbies and challenge them to learn and grow. Case in point, my daughter has been playing Astro Bot 2 for the past month. She's only 6 years old and she already has a command of platforming that is highly impressive. Day after day, she has been working on this game, collecting all the bots and fighting the bosses. And then finally, one morning, she came to me and told me she got all the bots in the game. Now, a parent who doesn't care about video games would dismiss this as a waste of time. But I picked up my daughter, I gave her a big hug, and I told her I was proud of her for committing to a game that was initially very challenging for her. Look, video games can be addictive, okay? And unregulated, unmonitored use of video games by minors isn't a good thing. But if parents put in a modicum of effort to understand the passion that their kids have for these games, or if they play the games with their kids, both them and their kids will walk away happy. I'm so excited about the state of gaming today. And while there are some issues, by and large, it's better than it's ever been. I mean, when I started playing games, I played Civilization 1 and Red Baron. They're great games, but when you compare them to the modern masterpieces we enjoy, it's absolutely mind-blowing. But the same stigma I faced 30 years ago is still prevalent today, thanks in part due to the modern social media landscape and this influencer culture where all these people who don't play games talk shit about them. Look, study after study after study has proven that video games, when encouraged and monitored by open-minded parents, can give kids a massive advantage in many areas. But these stupid morons are regurgitating thoroughly debunked arguments to an audience of mouth-breathing plebs, and that in turn is causing many kids to be denied the opportunity to have fantastic gaming experiences. You know what? If these idiots who don't play video games can make sweeping theories contrary to existing evidence about the state of video games as a whole, I feel that it's my duty as someone who plays video games to come up with a theory of my own. I'm pretty sure in my lifetime, it's going to be proven that kids who have healthy gaming habits monitored by caring and interested parents are going to be more curious, better students, and better attuned to find success in life. Think about it. What happens when you try a new game? Well, you're thrown into a new situation, and the only way to succeed is to learn and adapt. On a fundamental level, video games force the player to experiment with the tools they are given to find success. And I don't think it's ridiculous to say that children who are exposed to conundrums that make them think are more likely to embrace problem solving than those that never have these experiences. So yeah, let's just stop shitting on video games as a whole. They're a great form of entertainment, and they're mostly harmless. And honestly, all these parents that are making TikToks against video games, when it's time for you to retire, your adult kids who were denied gaming are just gonna throw you in a home and then play the video games you didn't want them to play. Little Timmy's gonna grow up and play Final Fantasy 27 Extra Belts Edition while you wither away in some home. Okay, like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. I'm gonna play Helldivers 2. Bye!